All right, thank you. Right, welcome to today's session. What we're going to do is we're just going to do a recap, and I want to use the assignment as a yardstick to just refresh our mind because it contains everything: creating user, group, and also roles. And we're going to walk through the access control. I know I just did I just wanted to see what you guys can do if I show you how to do something, even if I don't go in depth of it. I want to see the outcome of it. But without wasting much time, I'm just going to my PDI. I would share my screen and I would want to just a minute. Okay. Everything is just a minute. I'm just trying to reset myself. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen now. Now, for those that did the assignments, I needed this part to be specific, like to be correct, to be exact, because if you don't get it, when we're trying to do the import, to import data, we might find it difficult. Now, what I want people to show me, I wanted people to show me something like this. If you have your form and you send me a screenshot, I want to do one small trial and see if you succeed. So I'm just going to go to my tables. No, I'm going to go to my tables. Go to my tables. Oh, all right. Like I said, there are two ways of creating a table. You can go to tables and columns. That's where you can create your tables. So now we're going to Olo. I don't even need to do that. I can just come out here. So I've created my own. You can see my application menu. It has a create. This is for list. So if I click on this is what's going to be displayed, right? So if I also want to show you how it all started, I can go to my tables, go to my table. So I'm going to do a rough demo of what yours should look like. Table, Olu. Okay, this is hardware creation. This is just normal creation. I'll go to this one. So there's no CI. All right, guys. I believe this is what you should have on your form. If this is not what you have on your form, then you are wrong. Now, when you have this on your form, this should be a drop down. You can see mine. According to my specification, this should be a drop down. Now, you should also know that your assigned user for this one, device name, you can have different device, but we're going to import. Now, this should be users reference. Someone did ask me a question this week, and what the person asked me was, how will it display? For instance, I have this email field, right? If I assign a user, I want the email of the user, right? If I assign a user, I want the email of the user also to display. Now, that is just what we call dot working. Dot working is literally when you are trying to reference another field from a field, right? When you're trying to reference another field from a field. So that is what we call dot working. I'm just going to give a brief example. Now, when we have this, the last time we are talking, I said I'm not too familiar with form builder, but I had to do a little bit of revision on it so that I can be perfect in it, right? I'm used to form design and form layouts. But because Phone Builder is the latest, then everyone has to switch over because it's quite really, really easy. Now I'm just going to use this as a everyone has the assignment, right? If you have the assignment, just put their share their I can't I don't want to do it. Okay, yes, maybe I can do something like this. I'm gonna have this here because I want the assignment to display so we can walk through with the assignment. So I'll open a notepad, just new one. Okay, so I'm gonna get the assignment. Get the assignment from the class. So why am I trying to make sure you guys understand these things is because these are your basic activity as an administrator. So if you cannot do your basic activities, if you don't know how to do them, you cannot say you are an administrator in ServiceNow. So we're going to have this side by side so everyone can see, and we're going to walk through it, right? We're going to walk through this one. So if you've missed some classes, please, we've gone a bit far, but at the same time, you can catch up. And if you have any question, you can reach out to me. I'm literally accessible to anyone that wants help, that wants to grow. All right, without wasting much time, we said create and manage holographic and handheld HHD assets. Now, this is what you will get as an administrator. You get a user story, right? This is going to direct you what to do. It's going to give you step-by-step process of what they want you to configure. Now, be it you are trying to configure out of the box, or be it you are trying to configure, you are trying to customize, because all what you're giving, it's not. Oh, I need to share my screen, guys. Just a minute. All right. Can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, a thumbs up, please. All right. So let's carry on. Okay, for those that have done the assignments, right? This is what I want first of all. But if you've not done this, then I will just I'll just explain step by step what I've done, how I got here, and what I'm working with. Now, I gave you a user story, so you don't design something out of the blue. You work with specification. That's why I said use a user story. Now, here's the user story. It says, first of all, I want to create and maintain record for holographic handheld HHD device, right? These are devices. So it's not telling you that we want to create it. This is what they are telling you exactly what they want to do. They have a description. What's the description? The organization has deployed holographic handheld HHD device to employee. The IT department need a custom ServiceNow application. So these are kind of things you will see, right? So even if you've not worked before in ServiceNow, because of things like this, you will have idea of, oh yeah, this is what you will get, and this is how it is, exactly how it is. Now, what do they want you to do? They want you to design what? They want you to create what? A device record. Well, they will have what? It's indirectly asking you to create a table, right? Because this is where all this is a table that it's going to be stored in. So we have to create a table. So for me, what I did first was I just went to tables, right? I went to the tables. I click on tables, like I said, and you click on new. Now, when you click on new, you fill all these things. So I'm just going to use my own. I'm going to go back and use mine. Olo. All right. Now, this is what I did. I just filled it, label. I put in my label. Automatically, it will give you your name. It will give you the name. Now, take notes. The name is what ServiceNow will recognize. Most times, ServiceNow will not recognize the label. So you have to know this name. Sometimes, if I want to look for this particular table. Once I can go u underscore olo underscore health underscore hhd underscore list dot do, it will give me the list automatically. So you have to know the names, the systemic names in ServiceNow, right? Now, once I have that, the first thing you do is, like I said, they have constant K. There are some values that are constant here in your tables, and there are some that you will add, right? The ones that are constant, you can see created by is constant, created is constant, update is constant. I created support group, firmware version, because according to my user story, these are the things I have created. Now, take note, while you are creating it, you have to look at, now what I did is what I always do if I want to make my work very easy. I don't want to spend time here. So I can just immediately go to show form. If I were you guys, I would just go to show form. When I get to show form, I right click and I go to form builder. So I'm going to work on form builder here. I'm going to use form builder here. Now I'll just go straight to form builder. Now, when I go straight to form builder, because I have created a table, I can now create a form for it. Now, when we go to form builder, the basic thing you need to know in the form builder, let me see if this will go up and come down. If it works like that. All right, okay. So I need this place to be large, like so that you can see space to be. Now, these are the things I need to create. Now, is the first thing he said, given that I'm a service administrator, given that you're a service administrator, yeah, when I click new, so when you click new, then I should be able to create a new form, right? That is one. So have I sorted that? Yes. If you go to my form, this is my form. So if I go there and I click new, so which I'm going to show you how to create all those things, you can go to Olo, yeah, that is it. So if I click create new, does it show me a form? That is what that question says. Click new. Does it create a new form? Yes, I've sorted the first one. So when you are sending your assignment, if you've not done this part, then I have to explain it. That's why I'm trying to do the assignment, so everyone will have a clue. So when you are done, I might give you something similar again to do, so that I know that you guys understand this part. It's not about just rushing everything. Like, you need to know what you are doing. You need to understand it, so that when you are faced with a task, you are not troubled. You know what you are doing. All right, so let's carry on. Now you can see when they click on new, when I click create new, the new form shows up, which I am right. So we'll go on to the next part. Now the next part says required information. When creating a device, the following field must be completed. Now, mind you, it's my bad. I should have given you exactly the field I want. You are going to be given. So the next one I'm going to give you, I'm going to explain which field type you are using. If it is string, if it is if it's an integer, whatever field type, there should be a column for that. During when if you have been given a user story, you'll be given specifications, right? You don't have to use anything up your head. So I'm supposed to give that, which I'm going to give in the next one, so that you don't have to start thinking of what to use, exactly what and all that. So that's for that. Now, another part said, the next part said, make sure all these things are what mandatory. So if I go to my form, the first one says device. Now, when you click on this device, you go to the right, on the right part of it, you will see string. There is what they call mandatory there. So you can just click mandatory. Now, when you click mandatory, if you click mandatory, if you take out the mandatory from this place, automatically anyone filling the form must not put a device name. But if you put mandatory, anyone filling that form must have an input here, right? Be it active or no active, but mandatory is very important, right? Now we've done that, we've sorted that part out. And another thing you need to know is when you are using your form builder, there's this very beautiful thing about it. Now you can keep adding things here. Once you click on add, for instance, you don't have to start thinking of what you are creating. You have some basic things already here. You can add a field in the table. Now you can create your own field. Let's take for instance, I want to add another field to it. Let me say attendance. Attendance. So I'll just come here. Take note, I'm not doing anything different. I'm just come here, attendance, right? So you see, automatically it gives me the UI name and it's a string. Now, when you come to this part, you'll be told exactly what you should do. Should it be a choice? Should it be a string? Should it be an integer? Whatever you are given, you are going to be given and with exact thing for you to do. So I'm going to go with a string for now. Let's just say string, but I want to do dot work also, so I'll still make an example of that. Now, when you click on add, it just shows you what it's going to be like. And you click on done. Now you can see on this part, it's a kind of like a session anyway. It's a session on its own. But see what I can do here. Under this place, you can only have two columns. This is what I mean by two columns. When you click on it, it can only show you two columns, one row and another row. That's two columns. That's the highest you can get in ServiceNow. But if you don't want the two columns, you can change it to each column. Just say one column. So it's going to come in a straight form, right? In the vertical shape. They are all going to be vertical. But if you want to have two horizontals, you come down to this part and just click on two column and you do. And that's it. If you don't want it, you can just come here and I will delete it if I don't want it. Literally, I don't want it, so I have to delete it. That is it. Now, on the side of it, you can see that that one is it's just easy. Now, even if I also want to add another thing, for instance, I want to add color. So I'll create color. I'll create color. So automatically it brings a color. Now I'll go to reference. That's where that it brings me to this question. If, for instance, we have a user and I want the user to display, I want the email of the user to display automatically. I'll just come here and change it to reference. To reference. Now, reference basically like the word reference means you're just trying to what relate it to another table or relate it to a particular a particular table or anything. Yeah, just basically a particular table. Now you can see when I click on reference, look at what they said. They said select reference table. Now I'm just going to come here and click on what system underscore user. If you are not familiar with it, just type user. But if you type user, there will be so many users, then you have to find. So the first thing I made sure you understand was a user, group, and row, how to get to them. I make sure you understood that first of all before doing anything. So always take notes when you're trying to look for a user, sys underscore user will take you there. Now, when you do that, here's a catch. When you do that, you click on it, then you add. Uh, look at the advanced. No. Do I want to make it mandatory? Do I want to make it read only? No, I don't need any. Do I want to put a value to it? No, I just want to say add and done. Right? That is it. Now, with this, you have referenced a user to this place. Now, this is like your back end. You are a developer now at this point because what you are doing, this is a rough sketch. What they are going to see in the interface is different, right? They are not going to see this part of it. Exactly. So that is it. Now, when you do that, another thing you need to know about this part is so for me, let's assume I'm going to come back here to delete it. So if I go to my phone, I've not saved. Take note, if you don't save this thing, it's not going to display. You have to make sure you save. Always save. Now, see guys, I have saved it. I have saved it. Now, I I need to reference the user. I need to reference user. So I'll come here add a field. I'm going to try it here. Email user. So I'm going to come down, see if I can reference mm, reference then mm, oh um I don't, for me I won't get it here. So let me just go to where I can get it easily. So first of all, I'll refresh here. Each of them have their own specific needs. So if you are trying to do a dot work, right, the best thing for you to do if you're trying to dot work, did I not save this? Okay, I need to add another one. That one was taken off. It's called device name, device name. All right, device name. It's a string. I add it. Add. All right. So now I'm going to save this. Just for show, just for show. Now, if I refresh this, because it's saved, it's going to display here. Now, if I want an email of the user to display, what I have to do is just come here and go to form layout. Now, in your form layout, you'll be able to see, not now, not now. So your form layout, you'll be able to see whatever any reference field always that has a plus. It means any once you go to your form layout, how do you know that this particular field is a reference field? Once you see a plus in front of it in the form layout, you tells you it's a reference field. Now I have to click on it. Now when you click on it, you see like a small tree. You see this small tree at the top of it, at the top of this where you're going to move it from available to selected. Now when I click on it, it takes me down to all, like, when you create a user, there are other information about the user. Now these are the information you are going to see. So I can easily just pick this email, click on this email and push it down to this side. So automatically the email will display. Now you are seeing it's color email. So I want to move this color email. I want to move it to under color. Just immediately under color. And I will save it. Now when you save, refresh. Now you can see that it will display. The emails is there. Now what I will do again is this. I'm just going to put, for instance, Abel. I'm just going to say Abel and click on Abel. Automatically this name will appear. It's a read-only field, right? Because we've dot worked what we've done a dot work that we've gotten the email of this particular user. Is that clear to everyone? I need reactions so that I know people understand what I'm doing, please. Is that clear to everyone? All right. Thank you. Okay, so this is that. We've done with this one, so I'm going to take it off. I'm going to go back to my form and remove it. So what I have to do is just delete. Now, take note, because I did not create it, it's a dot work. You are not seeing it on my back end. Yeah, you're not seeing it on this my form on my back end. You're not seeing it because I did not create it as a field on its own. Right? But when we are going to have a field and use that dependency, it reflects more on what's it called? Uh, we can also do dependency here. Yeah, I think I can do dependency here. So let me do dependency here so that you can see it. I'll go back to Control Z. Control Z gives me exactly what I've done. Now I'm just going to come here and click add again. Now when I click add, I'm going to add a field. So I'm adding a field. What's it called? We'll just call it email field, right? So that is it. Now on that email field, I'm going to go to reference. Under reference, I'm going to sys_user. All right, so without wasting much time, I'll go to sys_user. Now I have to go to advanced. It should have, okay, yes. So when I do sys_user, I click on it, add, done. It does not end there. Now I'm going to click on it again. On the right side of it, this is where we have the properties. Now I'm going to come to dependents. I'll say yes, use dependents. Now, what am I depending on? So on the email, dependent on the email, because if you check this one, what we have here, if you go back to your configure and go back to your form layout, just for show, not now. When you check this, what do we have here? We have caller.email. Caller.email. So it's easy for me to do it there because it just show up. So I say dependent on the email. So let's see if this one would yield any, will give me what I want. If it does not give me what I want, use the form layout for the meantime and see if I can get any other way to use the form layout to sort it out. So all I just have to do is to refresh. So when I refresh, because I have not saved, I have this email field. I have not saved it. So let's save it. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Now, let's see. If I choose, can you see? So, but that is not what I am looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for, guys. Okay, I'll take this one out first. So it's display an error for me. It display an error for me, but basically that is how I do it. If I have a better way of solving it, like how to use the form builder to do everything I want to do, I'm going to explain that. But basically, I've sorted the issue. You go to your list view. When you click on that plus sign, it gives you a reference. You automatically pick what you want and send it there. But normally, another way you can do it is through scripting. You write a script for it, but there's no need for script because it's easy. You can just reference it and all that. You get your reference. So user dependent field, I was trying to say user dependent field should be on the name. I'm concerned about the name. So if I'm concerned about the name, then I want to say where has this been created? It's not dependent on email field. Using the dependent on choice, any choice from email field are now dependent on. Oh, okay, guys. Now basically, right, if I am trying to create a form and I'm saying this form should be dependent on another form, meaning that a reference point, this one won't work. So I'm going to abort this one. I'm just going to use that previous method which I've showed you guys. So if you don't understand, go back to that same video, check it, then you see what I've done. so that I don't waste much time. So now I just want to do I'll take some back to how it was before. Now it has to be a mandatory field. So I just have to update it as mandatory for everyone filling this form. You have to make it mandatory. So that is it. So that's that. Now another thing you can do is if you are confused sometimes and you're trying to add and these things are not giving you what to add, you can just create a new session, right? Just create a new session. So you can come here. Don't want to spoil what I'm doing already. So I'm just going to come there. So if I want to do something, I'm confused, just come here, create a new session. Now, when you create a new session, right? If you check your form, while you click and click, sometimes new sections are created. Why? Because look at what I've done. I've created a form. This one is a form. This one is a session on its own. This one is another session on its own. This one is another session. This one is another session on its own because if you have in a form, once you've made the form, for instance, you've made it two column, you cannot easily add another column to be single in this place where you have two columns. So each of them has to be a sessions on their own. Now, when you are done with the session, you merge them. How do you merge? Just come down to the right click on that double dot and click on merge. You can see this one is detaching because I've already merged it. Now you can merge. Now I merged all my parts. I merged each of them, and that is why I got this form. So if I'm going to refresh this, I have not saved. I have not saved what I've done, but I need to take this other one out first. So you add a new session. So now take note. You can drag and drop. You can come down here. You can come down to what they've got, email field, just drag and drop it. You can create your own field with a name and set it, put string and all that. So these are things that you can do. It's a drag and drop. You don't need any code, you don't need anything. But what I do with my form layout basically is in case of my dot working. Like you can easily dot work from your form layout. Yeah, from your form layout, right? You can easily dot work. If you are used to form design, they've upgraded it to form builder. You can use your form builder for that. Well, I'm going to double check again and see if I can see what if I can get that dependency on the form builder. Now, this is how you're going to create everything, right? So if you have any question before I go to the next step, just feel free to ask your question now. Yeah.
Please, can you paste that URL again so that I can change the developer number then login, please?
All right. Now, someone trying to log into their what's it called? Their PDI, but when they were creating it, they did not create it properly. So what I told them to do is just change that number in front of it. Once you change that number in front of it, just like my own. Oh, where is the chat? Okay, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the chat. All right. So if you're having issue with your PDI not displaying anything, right? Copy this my PDI and change the dev. Or everyone has a unique dev number. Mine is 406453, my personal dev. Now, when you put your own number there and click on enter, even if you do not configure developer, automatically your instance will be created. It will just display your instance, right? So that's for that. For those that did the assignments, I have one assignment for you now. Not really assignment, but just for you to be sure that what you've created really worked, right? Okay, no, we'll get to that. But just make sure that whatever you are doing, based on my user story, I'm not trying to create things on my own. The only one I created on my own was this first part. Now, let's carry on. So the next part says make this part mandatory, and I've showed you how to make it mandatory. Go there and click on mandatory. That is it. Now, assigned for field should be reference user. Assignment field should be reference user, which I have showed you how to reference a user, right? You can go to user score understable, you just click on reference, change the type to reference, and you choose a user what system underscore user. Now, support group should be system on sys underscore user underscore group. I have showed you how to do sys underscore user. So you have that, use that for the group also, and assign it to that. Now, for the choice feed, everyone should be familiar with this, but if you are not familiar with the choice feed, I'm just going to go do it right now without wasting much time. So here's my choice field. Where is it? 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 Installed. Yeah, here's my choice feed. So I just click on it. I've done it already. So you just have to put your label name. You put choice, choose choice. Now it tells you none. Now there are two things, right? You can come down to this. You can come down to, because I have created the choice feed. I have done this. All right. So I go to my choice. Now under your choice, you are going to see use choice. So we are using the choice. If it was dependent on anything, that is where you say use dependent. But since you just created the choice, you can just go down to use choice, and that is it. Now, if I want to take away the none, I will just put a default. I'll put a default, which I did at the ending here. If you can see, there's a default of 0. So once I put a default, that none is out. The none will not display there again. So it will start with install, even when install is still on the choice, but it will just start with install, right? So that is it. What else again? What else did I give? The date. Always check the date you are using. Sometimes it might be confusing. So don't just pick when you go to the date field. Look at my date field now. This is what is showing, but this is what I have. Date must match the format, which is year, month, and day. So I'm just going to click it. Now you can see, check the date whenever you are choosing it. Don't just rush. Always make sure you check. If it's mandatory, I'll just click on mandatory. If it's not, you can see it's always is active on the form, but it's not mandatory, but it's active. It means it's a valid field, right? It's not non-active, or it's active. All right. So after that, fault count. He said the fault count field should accept only whole number and default to 0 from new record. It means your default, by default, it should be 0, but you can adjust the number. So I'm going to take you to that field, which is the fault field. Look at it. Now, this is what I was trying to say. When you go to your default, I have made it 0. So automatically 0 is going to display here without me putting anything. It's going to be 0. So you use default. Basically, for instance, if I try to create that form and I say, if you don't change if you don't change the installation, it will always be on install. If you don't change it, so once you just create it and you forget to put anything on the installation status, because for you to have something in our system, for it to be installed, for you to have a status, it must be installed in our system, right? So I can make the default to be installed, so that whenever you're filling a form, if you fail to change that part to install, automatically it goes to install and saves like that. All right, so um that is it. That is basically what the assignment is all about. Before I go, I want to take your action. Was it difficult? Was it easy? Did you understand? Do you have proper understanding now? Can you go, if you are given another assignment, to go and work on it, or can you go back and do it properly and get me that same format after the class, guys? All right. Thank you, Jackson. Tony, do you understand now? Can you design the form yourself? Can you start from scratch and build it?
I can, but I have to go back to the video because I'm at work now. I'm
All
not
right.
really
Okay.
following with my system. Yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, good that you're even making effort. Another word of encouragement, guys. It's like this. I started up like this also, working and studying. Right. It's not. I always try to encourage you guys, because it's not about coming to the class. right? It's not about just learning all these things. I'm putting effort so that you have real life scenario, so that when you go, you can have it in your CV. I have done this, I have done that, and you ask simple question. Oh, if you have done, let's take for instance, someone has an email, someone is a user, and want the email to reflect. What do you do? It's just a simple question. You will just say, I will dot work it. Oh, I'll just go to the user. If the user is already referenced to a table, I'll just dot work it from the table. How do you do it? I'll go to list layout and I'll do the dot work and just move it from available to selected. That is the answer, right? That is the answer. So I also want you to know the why and not the just go and click 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 and you are done, because that is not what will get you the job. What will get you job is you know how to do it, one, and you know why you are doing it. So when you know how and why, if someone drop a question, maybe you might be in a circle. Oh, how do we do this thing? Even before the business analyst provide what a user story, you can also guide the business analyst in creating a user story, because the things you are saying will tell him, okay, this is how we want it. Okay, this is how we'll go about it. So that is it for now. Now, what we're going to do, we're working on ACL before the we're working on ACL for our last class, and so I just want to go back to my table, because that's why I said this assignment is crucial, right? This assignment is crucial because it's going to direct us on many things that we're going to do. So this is like, and in if you go to your service now, if you're in your service now university and you've applied for, you've registered for this course, what I'm doing here is exactly what you are given to do. So you should not spend time after this full program. I don't expect anybody to spend more than 2 weeks or within 1 month to write the exam. Don't waste time, because this knowledge you have now, if you leave it, you have to go to the scratch, you have to start again. And mind you, service now is not relaxing. They are updating. They are moving to AI, they are updating their skills, they are updating their platform. And if you are not updating yourself, you will be stuck. So that's why you have to keep up. Make sure right now, once you do, you start up, finish the service now, write the exam, keep yourself ready, and also keep updating yourself. So now I'll go back to my table. All right, guys. Now this is the ACL. We have what? Read. We have create, read, delete, and write. For those that were not in the class, I can't really go too much. I can't go back too much, but I'm just going to explain some few things. Now, what is an ACL? Like I said, ACL is a security rule designed to restrict what? The permissions of user from viewing and interacting with data. Like I said, we have a role level and we have column level, right? So, and that's why we have what? There's what we call CRUD operation, which is create, read, update or write and delete. That's a CRUD operation, right? Now, without wasting much time, what before you can adjust or create an ACL, you have to elevate your role. So let's go back. Now, there's what we call control. Now, this control, you can see this control, this is a role, like in terms of this table, this is the role assigned to that table. If anyone does not have this role and you are not an admin, you cannot have access to my table, right? And you can also create what? An ACL. You can create a role and attach it to this. But in the table builder, we're going to use that application from that when we go into developer. That's the first thing we do in developer, because what I wanted to talk about, I cannot be telling you about things right now that are not really too important to you. Talking about the pipeline, how did I resolve the pipeline, what did I do to resolve the pipeline? So that might be a distraction because it's not necessary for your exam, and you're not going to be doing that. It's meant for developers. They are the one that's going to configure the pipeline and all that. That's creating production and develop production and development and developer instance, right? So those are just a different thing, right? You can either create production or dev instance or a test and also a test instance. Yeah. So that's for the developer part of it. Now, with this CRUD, we can create ACL. Now, let's take for instance, let's see. We've created there's an access control here. So let's go back and impersonate. Who are we going to impersonate now? Let's just impersonate anyone that does not have any of this role. So just come down, come down, come down. Yeah, let's check Andrew. Let's see, let's just check if Andrew can have visibility to everything you're saying. All right, this is Andrew's instance. So I'm just going to go to all and I'll type Olo. So guys, did you see that Andrew does not have access to it? Now, this is just, take note, right? You know, I told you you can use role to restrict users in a group. Now, you can use ACL to restrict roles, right? You can use ACL to restrict roles, and you can use role to restrict users in a group. Take note of that. Now, you can see basically that it does not have visibility. So, I'm going to come back, end impersonation, and I come back to my users. So, first of all, like I said, good practice. Always create a group and assign a role to the group. So this is just a practical way. So I'm going to go to group now. Group. So I go to group. Everyone should know what to do from here, but I'm just going to go straight up IT group, IT group. Who's the manager? I don't need a manager. IT group for demo. IT group for demo. For demo. So you can fill all this part if you want to, if you are based on your user story, but I'm not having a user story right now, so I'm just trying to. Now I want to go back to my refresh because I've saved it. I'll refresh so that it's going to update. So now I'll go to IT. I'll go to IT. Now I have the IT group. Now I click on my IT group. Now under group member, I come down to user. I come down to edit. I want to look for that Andrew. Where is Andrew? Andrew. Yeah. So this is Andrew Osh. So I want Andrew Osh Jackson. So I'm just going to. So when you want to um move more items, just control. It's the same thing like your Excel. So I want these 4 people moved into my group, and I'll save. So 4 of them have been moved to my group, right? Now I want to go back to my row. I don't want to touch that row there. So I'll come back to row. Now we'll save this. What I'm going to do is what? I'm going to update. I'll update it right now. So when I update, they are there. Now I want to go back, just create one more, create a duplicate so that we can have some more flexibility in terms of how to go around. Now I go to row. Now I'll come down to my rows. Guess everyone has created a row before, so it shouldn't be an issue or a new thing. Where is the row, mate? Hmm. Row. What's this, mates? Why are you not coming out? Row. User role. Okay. Yeah, system definition. So okay, user role. All right. This is the role. Well, I was trying to look for system security. System definition. Wait, oh, users. When you go to user, this is what you're going to see. So why is it not displaying there? So you can see user administration. Under this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the role. Oh. Under system security, system definition. Just a minute, guys. We're just playing around it. Okay, it's been updated. So I can pick anyone. I can go through user administration or I can go through system security. No, I always go to system definition. What has changed? Okay. I click on this. If I'm so confused, I come down to here, edit. So under edit, I can come down to no, I need to create a role. So come here to here, click on role. Uh, all right, so these are the user roles we have. Now we want to want to create our own role. Well, I don't want user role, so I want a role. So yeah, I still going to go to user. So I'll go to group. I would find it. I'll find the what's it called? Okay, no, it should be sys underscore. Okay, hold on. Let me just say. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Ah, yeah, I forgot, but we'll use this role. User. Why have I forgotten how to create a role? All right, so if I get stuck, guys, what I do is this. If I get stuck and I'm trying to find a solution to what I'm doing, there's no need to cram anything. Just go to Google. Everything is in Google space. So you go to just go to ServiceNow documents, ServiceNow documentation. That's this. Just click on ServiceNow documentation. Now you click on the documentation itself. You can just click on this one. This is the first one. So don't overcram anything. So just go to row, click on row and click enter. Now they are going to give you list of different rows. So you can, this is the first one, say how to add a row group and all that. So you can see how to add a row to an existing row. Now you just click on this first one or the second one. Just click on it. So you're going to see different tab here. So it tell you, you go to row group. It's just going to tell you exactly how to do what you're looking for. So most times when you are stuck, it's not a rocket science. Everything has been there. Everything has been created. All right, guys, just give me a second, please. So it's 4 o'clock. We're just gonna have a 10 minutes break. I just want you guys to drop on the comment section. Would you permit me for extra 1 hour so I can make up for yesterday? Then obviously the next class we might just do 3 hours just to make up. That we can shorten the length of time for the program. What do you guys think? So for those that cannot stay after the hour, the recording is going to be there. You can just watch the remaining hours, right? So we're just going to go for our usual 1 hour, 10 minutes break. And after a 10 minutes break, the class might be long a bit. We'll just use to also I can cover what we're doing right now, finish it, then also go to the next part, which is the import data. So we have to try and see if we can do import data today. If time permits us, then we'll go on to CMDB. So just 10 minutes break, guys. Thank you. All right, so everybody, welcome back. The short tea break. All right, so it's 10 minutes now. So what I was trying to do is basically it should be under security. So I just need to go system security. If I'm finding it difficult to get what I want, just go to system security. System security. So under system security, you have your roles. So I click on the role. So this is what I was looking for. And now I want to create a role. Now, why am I creating this role for? I want this role so that I'll be able to explain to you guys that if you assign someone a role, then the person would have access to the table. Might have access to just the application. You cannot do anything. You cannot sometimes you can just have access to only the application. You can just see the name. But right now we can't even see the origin the device which we create the table which we just created. We cannot the Andrew cannot even see it, so we have to just create a role and assign him the role so that I can even see the application menu. So I'm going to call this role um user 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 man. Yeah, just use that description. And do I need to give any fancy name? No, it doesn't matter. Just okay, yeah. User demo. Let's just use user demo. Demo. Now take note, guys. There's always something on my description for demo. So no one will allow you create anything in ServiceNow without having a description. It's not does not work. So I'm just going to say global. Yes, it should be global and save or submit. All right, so I'll just go back to my role. I say user. All right, so user demo. I have user demo. I'm just going to click on it. Now, watch what I'm doing, guys. Um, contain. So new. Let's see. No, 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 no. All right, so I've created a role, right? Uh, application with. So now come here to your application with custom application, application menu title. The application language. Choose the role that they are required to access. All right, so if I put a name and say user demo, user demo, application to role user demo. No, this is not what I'm sorry. I have created. Just take it. I have created that role. Normally we should have linked it there, but I'm going to link it here. So I'm going to go back to this table. I'll come back to my table first of all. Don't touch that. I've created that already. So I'll come back to my table. So what I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to I've created a row, right? And I want to add the row to my table. Now, if I have the row to my table, you can see that those that have that row you can see my menu. So now I'm going to come down here. control access add application. All right, so let me just elevate security role update. Okay, so if I add that, this is why I created the role. Yeah. So I'll go back to the role. You go back to security, just a user. And go to user demo. So before we carry on, I just want to show you something. So if I click on this one now, if I click on user criteria, you go to the module. It has three module: user criteria, true, user this, then custom module, contain. All right, so it contains read. That is an access control. All right, so I just go back. I just want to configure this one. Um, Rule module. Okay, user demo. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to do. So I'll just go to, all right. Doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, this was what I was looking for. Now, so you can see it say link is linked to list record, right? Which of the tables I have to choose my table. All right, so no, that is it, and that's it. So I've created it. I click on save. All right. Okay. User demo. User demo. For demo. Just save. Oh, invalid insert. For demo one. I need to change out the name. That's why. All right. Invalid insert. Okay. Yeah. All right. You have this contains. Okay. Edit. Why am I not seeing? Okay. Have you underscore. So first of all, let me leave this one first. So let me just leave this one first. So now, if I come down to your IT and I go to your role, put on edit, right? If I look for user, user, you can see the user demo, and we save, right? And we have 5 people here. Just update it. So if I come down here and I try to, so I'm going to try to impersonate someone else. Now let's impersonate Andrew again. You're not right. There's something wrong. Just a minute. I need to go back in the presentation. Updates. All right. So let me confirm what I've done first of all. I have a demo. It will link to this row. So just to see the list. Yes. Then this is a U underscore demo. So I have to go to IT group. Or go to IT. Go to group. So under group, I go to IT. So under IT. All right, guys. The row I did not click on save. So you see, if you don't save what you are doing, it will not reflect. So that was why. So you just go to user demo. You click on user demo. You move it to here. I have to click on save. So you can see it's been added now. Now, if I try to impersonate this person, Andrew, if I try to impersonate Andrew, it should work now because it has the. So if I try to impersonate Andrew and look for Holo, oh, okay. So first of all, I need to give them ITEL and impersonation. I give them ITEL because first of all, they cannot even access. They don't have the rules to access anything. So I have to add more. I have to add more rules to what they can do. So I have to go back to the group. Go back to the group. I'll go to my history because I've had the group before created. So I just go to my history. I'll give them ITEL row. ITEL ITEL admin row. Let's see. Update. So we have this three row. All right. So it's now to impersonate again. Impersonate. Let's be sure that the name we're impersonating. So Andrew O is there. All right. So just need to come here and impersonate the person. Impersonate. So if you notice, you could not see lots of these things. I believe now you should have access to a lot of things now. Okay, you should just have access to work. All right, so that is just first of all. If I added all those role it didn't show, so I have to add this role to it now. Let me end the impersonation. So because it does not have permission, I was thinking that you should have been able to see the user role that was created. So I'll go back to the IT group. All right, so I need to add u underscore. Oh yeah, I was supposed to add it there. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. So you can see now, the moment I gave him the role, I was supposed to add the role to the field, right? So I was supposed to add it. So because it does not have this role, you can see user demo because I have assigned it, so he's able to see it. But because he does not have permission to this role, first of all, he cannot see it. But if he has, now let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can create. Can he create? Yes, he can create. So if there's a list, he can see the list, right? Now, what would deprive him of having this kind of, what would deprive him of being able to do all these things he's doing? Like for him to create, for him to see more. The only thing that can reduce him is what we call ACL. Now, if you have an ACL here, so first of all, for me to edit any ACL, I have to elevate my row. Now you can see that he has access, right? Okay, so we'll go on to the next part. So this is where you see what the ACL does. Access list. Now access control. Yeah, ACL. Now, if you check before now, we don't have access to create new or to edit. We can't do anything. But if you have elevate, if once you elevate yourself, you have access to check everything to be able. So if I want to filter, I can go to this place and delete this filter automatically. Once it runs without filter, everything is going to come out. It should be under u underscore. Okay, so I've elevated my rule first, then I go to my tables. All right, so I come here now. This is the access, so it's under u. So I should have checked for u underscore. U underscore. So these are all what's being created. So you can see we have u underscore this. So I'm coming down to this one. We have now I want to restrict the person from creating. So I'm going to come to this place. All right. So you see create now. Now, once you say create dot none, create dot none, we are trying to restrict the person from being able to create. So who can tell me what I define as, I told you we have three restrictions. We have for the tables, we have for a role, and what's the last one, guys? Can someone respond? We have table dot none. What are the remaining two? What does table asterisk mean, guys? Just put it on the chat if you don't want to talk. What does table dot none mean? What does table dot none mean? Someone please put something there and encourage me, please. We did this the last class. We talked about it. We even had we had some classwork on it. What does table dot field mean? Accessing a table. Yeah, that's correct. What of table dot field? Table dot field. table dot field. All right, to a specific field. So now we are trying to use each of them, right? So we're going to use the first one, which is table dot none. So that's a table level, which we are doing here now. So it's called table dot none. We've chosen the table. We say table dot none. You can um. So let's see. So it has this field. Uh, user user u underscore user user demo. So I have added this user demo to this field. I'm going to update it. So let's see. You have to end your elevated row first. Now we can go back to impersonate. So let's impersonate Andrews. So before we go on, let me just create so what we did was, so I end impersonation table dot none. So it applies to the entire table, right? Because we don't have a list. So he has submit showing here. It means he can create a record. So I want to, let me work on this part where he cannot create any record first of all. For this okay, create. So I'll go to this create. So I need to elevate my row first of all. Okay, row level. So you can only create a row, creating allow no. It's good. Okay. Mm, create. Mm, 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 mm. All right, so we have the crowd. Where's the create, read, delete, and write? So I don't want him to create. So I have to go to create first of all. So create dot star update. All right, so I have to end this. Come here. Impersonate Andrew. Yep. All right, guys. So you see, when I use the asterisk, he does not have access to create anything on that table, right? You see how I've restricted him from creating, so he can only see the field as blank. He can't do, and there's nothing like submit here. But if I take away this thing back, if I end impersonation and I come back to, and I go back to that same, I go back to the access control. So if I change this place, if I get my elevator, if I elevate my row back again, so because we do not have any list, right? So when I use table.none, we can't see anything. But if you create list on your own, you can try it and you see that it will display. So if I want to take away a particular field from him while he's creating that, there's a particular field that he should not create. He should not be able to do anything on that particular field. I can say comment. Now I will update it. I'll just update it. Say continue. Now, if we go back, we have to end the elevated, end this row. You have updates. Then we'll go back and impersonate Andrew. All right, so you go to create new. What did I not check properly? So I have to check it properly. Elevate my role again. Proceed record, allow. Yeah, should go. All right, check again. End elevation. Table.fields. Impersonate. Oh, it's blocking everything. I think I have to go back to the first place. Sorry guys, I'm taking too long than I expected, but it's part of it. Sometimes you might get confused. I'm not confused, but I want to go back to the first one I did created and see what changed, why it has not. So let's go back and see what's happening here. So first of all, it says to create. right? The records create over that allow if this is comment. Okay, so let me go back to none first. Let me go back to none field. I don't really need this first for now. I take this out and update. So you say field deleting comment, continue. All right, end impersonation. All right, so we have this one and we can update the comments. And what I was trying to do is to block just the comment. So it has to be to block the comment should be table dot field. Okay, so that's it. I'll try one more time. If I don't get it, I'll do a demo and drop it up later. I don't know why it's not letting me do it. So I have to go back here and end the impersonation. Think of some other things to do today. All right, that is great. Oh, so what we should have done, sorry, should have been for updates. So first of all, if I put that on create, it's going to affect everything, right? Because it has to do with your create first of all. Now, when you're creating, after you've created, we can restrict them from also updating any particular field. So let's say you have a field that you've created, you don't want anyone to update it. After you've done that, you can use it. So go and practice, try more, see what you can do, try the table dot none. But first of all, I think I have to create more field for it. Then when it comes to update, I can also try and see if it's going to work on update also. So that is for your access control list. Do anyone have any question? At least I've shown you the table dot none. But if you have a list, then that table dot none will be more effective. But when it comes to form, it's table dot asterisk, which is that table. So when you click on this and I elevate my row, right. So what I want you guys to do is try this one, try for this first one, table does this, elevate the row and see what happens, right? The next one, try table dot, let's say table dot, okay, table dot device name. Let's update it, see if it's still going to work. So look at it now. You say you are deleting a role access. This is a role level, right? So at least it just a role level. So it's say continue. I don't know why I didn't work the other time. Oh, so it should show continue, but if it doesn't show, then obviously I have to give it a try, then check back. So with that, we'll come to the end of access control. If you are confused, go back and watch the video. Go back and watch the video and have a glimpse of what we were trying to explain. Yeah, so we have the access, so you should not worry. Do not bother us. So I don't know why it's blocking all the whole access. It should just block only one. So it means if I use, so let me go to, let's create a field here. Let's just create a field, then I'll go to update and see what comes out of it. Um, I want this. Okay, so we'll go back to your form view, go back to the form, go back to this, not now. So I want to take these two out. They were not part of it before. They were not part of it before. All right, so I'll save. This is what I want. So now I'm going to add. I've got just one list that we're going to use to update it. So it brings us back to a question of how do you update your how do you update update a table, right? How do we update a table? Now you can update your table by importing it through XML. Can update the table by importing it through XML. Now, mind you, so this is what we have here. This is a table we have, like a list of what we have. Now, first of all, take note. If you want to get this list, look at how you can export. So in ServiceNow, there are two ways. You can either import or you can export. Now, when it comes to export, you have your PDI and your XML. Now, if you click on the XML, for instance, want to export this thing out. Now, when you have this XML, it tells you how, because we've not updated anything on the field. So that's why I want to do an update now. So let's just do an update based on this form we have here. So the first one is H001. H001, the serial number. So this is what, now for those guys that did their assignments, we're going to do a test run with what I'm doing right now. I'll paste this stuff on the chat, and I want you people to update what you have created. That's the only way that you tell you that you did the right thing. If it does not update properly, then you've not done the right thing. So for this one, we can just choose install. We'll go back. For user, we need to change these names. So we are using any of the fields, so we can use Abel. Then for the date, you can just choose any date. Now this is where you use your JavaScript when the time comes. You can choose a certain date that people cannot go. Let's say for instance, you can set that you cannot fill a date that is not from today. You can also set that. You can set the time for that. Now for this one, the email, you can just use any email at email.com. But I have something created here already. So it means I have to create a user. So you can say this as the email, the tag. We have a tag. This is the tag. So it's a mandatory field. You must have a tag for that. Then when it comes to the support group, you must pick a support, either IT team or analytic team. So we've had that. Now, so it could be IT support. Comments. We have a comment here, updated. Now it can be 0. Now, what did he pass or failed? Pass. So now I'm going to save this. But first of all, I want to do something. Now, we can come here and create. I want to create a user. So I want to use user one. So I'll come here and create new and create user one. User one. So it can be user. Then last name is one. Then the email address. This can be the email address. No, that's all. So this one can be the email address. So now we've submitted it. So that this is our user one. This is the email. Now everything is set. Everything is set. Tag. All right, guys. Can you tell me why this tag is rejecting this number is just putting only number. Can anyone tell me why this tag is just showing only number? Can anyone tell why this tag is showing only number? Even when I try to post, when I paste alphabet and number, why is it showing only number? Typical decimal. Okay, all right. So what do we need to do? You just need to go to your configure. You can go to your configure straight up and go to your what? Your form builder. So it's on integer. Now, when you have integer, it will never allow a string. Take note, when you have integer, it will never allow a string. But if you have a string here, if you change it to string and save, right? If I come back to my form and just refresh, I don't know if I might. Okay, I'm not going to submit. I'll just save. Now, I'll come back here and post it. Save again. So you can see it has accepted it, right? It has accepted it. It's now what? An integer. So, all right. So we update. So we've created the first one, right? So the next thing we have to do is now let's go and check our form. Let's check the form that we've created. I just go to history. Don't want to spend much time. Not this one. No, 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 no. All right, guys. Did you see two things did not update here? The device name and the comment, they did not update. Device name and the comment did not update. It's due to that ACL that I have initially put there. That was why I did not. That is why. So now the ACL kicked in. So anyone trying to create device name, if you notice, I did not. I restrict people. I restrict them from device name and also from comments. Now I have to go back and change that. If not, it's going to apply to everything. Now we can also restructure this thing. If you feel you don't like the way it's displayed, you can change it. You can create your own list view if you want to. If that's what make you want, you can create your own list view. You arrange it properly. So I just have to go back to my ACL. I have to elevate my row first of all. I'll go to table. So because I have not created I've not created it, any input, any value in my tables. That's why it did not display. So go back to create. All right. So I have to remove this and take it back to table.none. So you can see, because I have not created a table before, if I had created a table, we would have seen it, but it allowed me to carry on. But when you go to the point, I can click on submit, right? But when you go to the point of me trying to create something, I could not create it. So I'm just going to update this. All right, so we have a field here. We've created a table. We've got a table for this. So I'm going to come down here and go to the list view. So now I'm going to see if I can update this. Click on user. No, not this one. So I'll click on pass. All right. So let's see. Update. All right. So if this keep happening, I can just come here. Since I have toyed with it, maybe that's why it's giving me issue, but I can recreate it. So I can delete this one. On table.none, allow. Okay, so let's try it again. I'll delete this first table that was created. I'll delete this first table that was created. Delete. Okay, so I'll go back again and create a new table. All right, so let's put back those information I've got before. You can click on install. Just take your user. This. So these are mandatory fields. You have your IT support. And just put it IT there to stay. Reference. Don't they have IT? What do they have here? What do you have here? What do you have here? All right, so we don't have IT. We can create IT. Just say IT support. Uh, IT support. No, 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 no. Because it's not there, and so we just have to create IT support and submit. So IT support is there now. So what will be the comment? So take note, if you don't have anything, if it does not show, you just have to create it. If you check for the reference field is not there, make sure you create it and it's going to display. I hope this one does work now. Still not giving me what I want. Don't know why. I've reset the access. Still the same thing. But let me see the list view. Let me come back to this place and see the list view. It's displaying. Well, I don't know why the phone view is giving me something different. Okay, I'm just going to take the ACL out. I don't. So for me, if I get stuck, I go back to what I've done before and see how to adjust it. So right now we have something like this. What am I going to do? If I'm in this situation, first of all, I just have to go and create a new ACL, right? Maybe the ACL I've created, I did not edit it properly, or maybe I have an error with my ACL. I'll just have to go back there and re-edit the ACL. So if I go and I try to edit it, it's not working. I always pick the easiest way out, which is just delete that one and create a new ACL. So you can also see how ACL is created. So the only thing I need is this u underscore this, so I can delete this one. Continue, delete. So I go back there again, go back to my ACL, go back to ACL. You don't have to do it my way, oh, tables. You don't have to do it my way, or you can just go to tables, go to Olo, or click on this. So now you see we've taken it out, right? So we can create a new one. You can click on create. So this is how you create ACL from the scratch. So you just create, you add a row to it. The row you are adding is what you have created before. So you can see it's there. So you just click on that. Now we've not done anything. I've not adjusted anything. I don't know why it did not allow me to do what I wanted to do. So it says or empty is valid if ACL will completely deny access to the property. Okay. So I've added this one now. I can click on submit. It will go on. All right, so I've added the ACL back to it again. So let's go back there. I don't like my list view. So why is it coming out like this? So I have to do some work. Let me just go and do some adjustments. So I need this field to be mandatory. So I just click on mandatory, and that's this. We sorted this one out. So we can close this tab now. We can sort this tab out now. This one is sorted. All right. If you click on this pass, we can see all of them. You can see everything. So let's update. I don't want a UI, no. So I go to table, I go to list view. So let's see, let me see what I've done. I've done different. All right, so let me just right click here first. Right click here. What's two dots? Okay. I'll go to configure list layout. So under your list layout, this is what we've got. We've got your email. So I've done an adjustment somewhere. For this not to show, I've done an adjustment somewhere. Updates. So I have to go and check the updates. So this is how you troubleshoot. So first of all, what I have to check is why are these things not displaying? It means that the view has been altered, right? Not the crate, the view. So what has to do with the view in CRUD? Where you have your what? Read. We have your read, we have your create, we have your update, and we have your delete. So it means that something has been blocked. Maybe the read on that particular field has been blocked. So that's the only way you won't be able to see this stuff on the list field. So I just want to go back. I'm a bit if I'm trying to resolve something, I just want to make sure it's fully resolved so that I can carry on. But in the next 5 minutes, if I'm stuck, I will have to get back again on that. So we have your what? Your read. Okay, this is your read. Let me see what I have on my read. And there's no condition. Show execution plan. This is the field. File update. So allow read for record of this user with the role user this. Allow if is none. There's no deny here now, so everything should go. All right, guys. So I will just go on to today's topic, but I'll come back to this so that I don't spend much time here. I just go on to today's topic, but I will revisit this and send something down if I don't get it right. But what we're going to talk about today, first of all, is import HHD hardware data. Now, when we talk about imports, you're trying to get information from an external place and bringing it inside. Now, you should think of it like a temporary storage area, right? Where you have your Excel and you have to import something into it, a temporary table, into a temporary table. Now, which you can compare to a ServiceNow table. Now, this import set does not, it does, it the ServiceNow is not going to allow you directly send anything you have and just import anything and send it directly to ServiceNow. No, there is always a um, security blockage in it that you have to bring in the data so that you don't corrupt anything in ServiceNow. If you're trying to siphon or do anything, trying to corrupt the data there, that's going to stop it first of all. So there's always a blockage. So now, what is import set? Import set is basically a tool that is used to import data from various data source and map that data into ServiceNow table. That's import set. Now, basically, there's an important recommendation in ServiceNow saying that we should understand the data you are bringing in. Make sure the data what is clean and make sure you have the similar table for that data. So that is just this one. Now, going forward, I'll just do explanation before we just go on to the instance. Now, how do you bring data? You can bring data from what? Your JDPC. You can bring data from HTTP. You can bring data from Excel. You can bring data from CSV file. You can bring data from XML. Now, this is just example how it works. When the data comes into the import set, there is a table. Now that transform map is the blockage. That is where you will relate that table. You will save what you have into a different table. Now from that table, that is what they will mash up to any of your targeted table, which we are going to see as time goes on. Now next, this your data source. Basically, this one just explain your data source, basically how the data come in. We're going to explain, we're going to do an example of it. You can see how you can bring your Excel sheet, just mash it to it, choose the file, and that's it. That one is sorted. It does not require any further action. Now, when you come to transform map, what is transform map? Transform map is a set of field map that define the relationship between field in an import set table and field in a target table. Now, this is what you brought in. This is the import, right? This is your Excel sheet, for instance. You have your name, you have your first name, you have your surname. Now, you are going to match this one, what you imported, to your target field. And your target field can be your user table, can be any table you are trying to match it. So instead of you manually, if I have maybe I have 10,000 people now that are registering in my company, right? And I can have them in an Excel. Instead of me imputing them one by one, one by one, one by one, I can just take them and put them on. If they are on an Excel sheet already, it saves me. I just import the Excel sheet. But first of all, I have to check the data I'm trying to import. Now, take note. There's what we call closing. They've asked me this question in an interview. The question was, if I am trying to import, I'm trying to use import sets, right? Now, and the the data I'm bringing in already exists in ServiceNow. How do I cross check to make sure that whatever is found in that data should not be added again to create duplication? Instead, it should be updated. Now, this is what you can use closing. So if a multiple field in a closed field or a multiple field means that a field will be used as a unique key during an import. Now, you can see this is an example. If you check for a user and the user name exists already, it will update instead of adding it to create confusion, right? So that is just close. Now, that is just a brief explanation. Now we're going to go on to the ServiceNow instance without wasting much time. Let's see if we can cover up that. I still need this table. That was what I was trying to check what the problem is. But since I have not gotten the problem yet, I'm just going to go to import set. And when I do the import set, I'll see what come out of it. So I'll go to load data. Now under system import set, you find load data. You click on load data, guys. Now, if you don't have a table, you can create a table. But if you have a table, you can go to an existing table. But we can also create a table. So go to an existing table if we've got one. Check. These are the only table that are here. So we need to create our own table. So create a table. You can give it any name, but there's what they call naming convention in ServiceNow. So when you say naming convention, we are talking about how a company give names to whatever they're trying to create. So some company might just say, oh, um, if you want to create any name, you have to create it with the name of whatever you're trying to design first of all, and the name of the company. So you can have a naming convention for everything. So for that, we're just going to go with this. I'm going to have this name and say table. Now this is what I will need. Now, first of all, before I can import anything, you have to be sure of the fields. This form, this form, show form. Now, this form, we have to marry this form to this Excel. For everything that has not been created, I need to create them. But because of time, I don't want to spend time. I can say, okay, uh, I will try and update this, and you see what is going to come out. For those fields that are mandatory field, it must require, it will show me error. So let's just watch and see. Let's see what I'm going to do. The only field that is going to update is going to be the first one. But if I want everything to update, I just have to come here. I have to go to my user first of all. So this part, I'm just going to go straight, go to users. I'll go to new. So I'm trying to create what user 2. So what you should know is your ID is your first name and your last name. So you can just put your first name here, user, and put 2. Then I need the email address for this. Now, because I'm doing loads of it, this is what I'll do. I only go to save, and I'll come down here. I'll say insert and stay. Insert and stay. So invalid updates. Okay, so the first one is insert, right? Which is done. It has done the insert already. So now I have to change it to 3. I'll change this place to 3. I'll change it to 3. I'll change this place to 3. Then I'll change this place to 3. So I have saved it first. So I'll change it to 3. So now I'm going to come here, insert and stay. You see it has inserted. So so first of all, you save it. You can insert it, then you go to insert and stay. So now I have to change this place to 4. I'll change this place to 4. I'll just change here to 4. I'll go back again, insert and stay. So once you insert, because I have 2, I have to change it to 4. Sorry. Yeah, that place is all changed to 4. So I'll go to insert and stay. Yeah, it has gone in. So I'll come back again. The first thing I change here is 5. I change this one to 5. I change this place to 5. I'll come here, insert and stay. That is, if you have too many things you're updating, this is the best way to do it. You change this one to 6. I change here to 6. I change this place to 6. I come back again, insert and stay. I change this one to 7. Change this one to 7. Change this place to 7. I come here, change this to 7. Again, insert and stay. I change this one to 8. Change this one to 8. I change this one to 8. Now I'll go to insert and stay. But I don't want to. Okay, let me just complete it because I have 10. Change this one to 9. Change this one to 9. Change this one to 9. I'll still click on insert and stay. Now I'll change this one to 10. Change this one to 10. And I'll change this one to 10. Now I'm going to update. So we'll go to our users. Let's see how many was created. Let's see how many users were. So we have user 1, we have 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, we do not have user 9. So that is the problem with insert and stay. The last one you inserted, right, will not update immediately. The last one you've inserted will not update immediately. So I have to go and create user 9 for myself, right? So I'm going to come back here and just copy the users. User 9. and come and get the email. All right, so I'm going to submit. So we're going to, so now we have user. So we want to group by, no, 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 no. All right, so now we've done this first of all. We're going to do every other thing. We've updated it. We have 9. Now another thing we have to check. Now you have seen that we have a form. This is your form, right? Now before you update anything, you have to make sure that what you have here can fit into this place without issues. So when you go to your, when you now check, we have maintenance, install pending, maintenance, install pending maintenance. Let's go to this list and check. Is that what we have? We have install, we have maintenance. We don't have pending here, right? So if we update anything on pending, it will not work. So I'm going to miss one so that that one will show, which is this pending, pending. Then we have what else again? It's going to give us issue. So everything is all set. Now I'm just going to save this. Just save it. Enable saving, yeah. So I'm just going to save it now. Not now. Just go, come down, come down, come down. All right, now we'll go back to the load. So I have chosen a label. We have created one. Now we have to look for, you said your file. You choose your data, you choose file. If you go to data source, look at it here. You can choose from any data source, right? But because we are updating from our laptop, I'm updating from my laptop, I'm going to choose file. Just a second, guys, please. All right, guys, sorry for that. So now I'm going to go to my I'll go to my documents, download. That's why I saved it on download 22. All right, so I'm going to open. So now it's been updated, right? Now just watch what's going to happen. I click on submit. It's running. So it's telling me that there's no error. That updated 10, process 10, inserted 10, zero error. Now let's look at your data sets. So take note, whenever you're importing, it does not allow you to see anything. It will not allow you to see anything at all. Even if you try to check, you will just see, you are only seeing what is being created. You can't see exactly what we did. The things we did here, you cannot see them. So that's what is going to show you. You won't be able to see that. Um all right, so this is what we try to import from our import set. This is what we try to import. So we're going to get running, no import, no. All right, so this is it. This is what we just tried to, what we just imported, right? So we'll go back here, come back here to import data sets. Yeah, this is what we're working on now. So we're just going to click on this. All right, so No. You should be able to see what you've updated. So that we can get to transform map. So this is what we just did first. All right. So now this is what we just updated, right? Now that's the first thing I said. If you check on my slides, the first thing you have to do is bring in your data. Now, after you've brought in your data, you can check. And after that, you brought in your data. The next thing we're going to do is to transform. Now, when you go to transform, if you come back to my charts, under transform, you have to relate a table to your target table, right? So this is it. You have to import set table source to your target table. Now, meaning that I have to just give it any name. You still have to name it here again. So you can just take this name and say Olo table. Now, where is our target? Which table is our target, guys? What table are we trying to target? Can anyone try? Which table is our target? Where are we storing this information? You can unmute and just speak. Where are we storing this information? Anyone? All right, so we are going to store this information on U underscore. Now, this is typically this table we have here. Where this thing stored, where this is stored, that is the table. So if we come here, for instance, we go to your table. Now, can you see this name? U underscore holographic underscore handheld underscore HHD. That's the table you're storing it, right? So if you come down to here, that's the table I chose. Now, your source table, this is the table that we created initially, right? This is the table that we created when we're trying to import the data from a file. So that's the difference. Take note, this is your source table and your target table. Now, there's something that is going to be unique. There are two things we can do. You can either save. So let me just explain this place briefly. You have your name, your source table, active is active. You have a business tree you can write. Now, enforce mandatory field. If there are any mandatory field, right, it means we must enforce it. You can decide to choose yes and you can decide to choose no, right? Whatever you choose, whatever you are giving according to your user story, determine what you should choose. So now the order, how should it be arranged? Should it be arranged from ascending to descending? You can give it an order in the terms of arrangement on that table, which will go back and sort that users. We can put an order on it. It's going to come up. It will show exactly how you want it from up to bottom. You can use an order. Now, create new record on empty colos field. Depend on what you are asked. If you are not asked to create new record, leave it. If you have to create, fine. But what we have to do, we can say, if you click on this, you want to create, meaning that whenever you are creating a new field, you must check all these fields. Are they there? Are they inside? Yes or no? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this. Now, when I save it, you see that we have more field, right? We have more field when I save this. Now, another thing I have to do is I have to come down to this place and I can decide to auto map. Auto map, it means automatically it will map itself. So if you go to auto map, it's just going to map there, it's just going to map each other. So this is what I was trying to explain. New record on empty colors field. Now, if you click on this one, all the records will be checked. But if I want a specific field to be checked whenever there's an update, I can do it here, right? I can do that here. So now you can see, I can say that for every serial number, I want the serial number to show that you should check for that serial number first. So you can check for the serial number. If it's true, then update it. Now, I can go to auto mapping. When you see auto mapping, you have to look at all the fields available. So look at all the fields we have. Now we have device name. So I can bring device name now and bring it here. So you can see I have device name here. I can push device name also. So device name matches device name. Because the names were not exactly the same. This is device name. This is device. The device name is together, but this one is not together. It's spaced. So that's why I said you have to be sure. You have to check. You have to correct the Excel sheet. Make sure that the Excel is the same. If it's not the same, you have to match it yourself. Now, another thing, apart from that, is there anything left? No, there's nothing left. So what I have to do is to save. I just have to save this. Now, the next thing you go to, you click on OK. No, so service now will create an index for you. Cancel. All right, so this is true. We've added the device name, so I can take this one, leave its serial number, and I'll go to transform. Now, when you transform, it's going to display here. If you still find it unavailable, you have to push it to select. Right? When you have pushed it to select, you click on transform. Now it shows you that everything was added successfully. You can check here to see your history. You can check here to see your transform history. But what I want to check is this. I want to come down here and I would click on okay, so that's it. So I'll come here and I'll click on list. So you see all the list here were displayed. Now, if you check, there is nothing like pending. So there's nothing like pending here initially. But because I added it on the choice field, it automatically added itself as pending. So on a choice field, you can also control it. If you make this field mandatory and you will have to adjust this one to make sure, that's why you have to check your Excel sheet. You have to adjust it and make sure that what you have here is exactly what you have on the Excel. If not, it's just going to update itself here, just like you can see. We don't have pending, but pending was able to display here because during your update process, it automatically adds to it. Right? So take note of that. The only thing I have to check is I have to check why this device name is not displaying and the comment is not displaying on the list. But I also have to check again the list view I'm using and see which. So let me just go back to that list view. Yeah, but it's displaying well. It's got the name there. All right, so that is how you do your update set, guys. I'm just going to give you guys. I'm going to drop the assignments after now. So this is basically for update sets. Our next class, we are going to continue from CMDB and walk through CMDB and hopefully go through knowledge article. So before I go, do you have any question? But with regards to this device that is not displaying, before the next class, I will update it. I will check what has gone wrong, and I'll tell you guys where I made the error. Or if I want to do it in a class, it might take us more time, which I don't want to spend here. Don't want to spend your guys. I don't want waste your time right now. So if you have any question, you can ask. If you don't understand. So right now, for those that have not done the assignment, please go back and fix everything. Now, for those guys that said they've done the assignment, I'm going to attach this Excel. I'm going to drop this Excel on your. This is what I want you to use. So for you, for those that want to create an import set, make sure you use this Excel that I'm pasting. I'm going to update here. So make sure you update it. And if you update it properly, it should display just the way mine did. All right, so if you update it properly, it should display just like mine. So is there any question? All right. So please, I need you guys to do that. Those that have not done the assignment, go back and do the assignment. At least I've made it easier for everybody to understand. And also, I'm going to drop another assignment again, similarly to what we have done. But the other one, I'm going to be more specific about the fields and all that. Then I would just go through this part. We're still going to use this Excel sheet I am working on. I'm just going to check the ACL part of it. So with that, we've come to the end of the class, guys.